Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Tuesday, October 20th, 2020, and today we're going to be going through Professor Alan Lichtman's 13 Keys to the White House. Now, I know this has been suggested for quite some time now, but since we are officially 14 days away, tomorrow will mark 13, so I thought that, while it may be fitting to do tomorrow, I have a Senate election and my final governor election prediction to publish, so I didn't want to, push that off. I'm going to be doing this one today. And honestly, I mean, this key, I guess you could say, this surefire guide, as they self-proclaim, at predicting the next president has been correct since 1984. If you're not too familiar with what it does, it essentially takes 13 keys on your screen right now and pretty much just has a true or false scenario. Now, the weird thing about the 13 keys is that they do not take into account polling data. They really don't take into account voter registration data, really any type of general indicator that we see in normal polls. Now, they have been right since 1984, and while I do disagree with one specific key in particular, all in all, they've been correct and been around a lot longer than this YouTube channel has. And when we're looking at the year 2000, those who may oppose this system do point out the year 2000 when they predicted that Al Gore would win. Now, generally, Alan Lichtman had always predicted the presidential election winner based off who would win the popular vote. I mean, the last time before 2000 where the popular vote winner lost the presidency was in 1888. Over a century had passed before, this had happened again. And 2000 rolled around and Al Gore won by 500,000 votes on the popular vote, but lost the electoral college. And then, of course, 2016, where Secretary Clinton won 3,000 more votes than President Trump, or at the time, Donald Trump. So, again, generally, they predict the presidential election winner. They were off again in 2016 for the popular vote, but correct with the electoral college. They believe that Donald Trump would win both. So they've been right for the presidential election winner, and with the exception of 2000, just because it was a different type of model, which they've now adjusted for since 1984. So I think that this is a fascinating system. It pretty much just relies on the economy. There's two keys here. Definitely can make all the difference. The economy is important, and also charisma, which is pretty important as well. So all in all, I've been right since 1984. It predicts now both the popular vote and the electoral college, and we're going to get to who Alan Lichtman believes will be winning the 2020 presidential election. So as we turn the keys red for being true and green for being false, if you don't know how they work, sorry, I forgot to explain this. On the screen, there are 13 statements. If it is true, it'll turn green, which favors Donald Trump. If it is false, it will turn red, which favors Joe Biden. That may be confusing when you're worrying about party colors, but you'll see red and green, and you'll get a general idea of what I mean. Oh, that rhymed. And then we're going to be filling in the swing states on this map, pretty much just characterizing them for whichever key goes to Biden, whichever key goes to Trump, and that's how we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and get started with the first key, party mandate. After the midterm elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the United States House of Representatives than after the previous midterm elections. Well, we now know this to be false. Following the 2018 midterm elections, the Democratic Party won back the House of Representatives. That's one, statement for Joe Biden. The next one, contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. True. Yes, there was Governor Bill Weld and a couple of other, low recognized officials, but all in all, true. Incumbency. The incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. This is true. This was false back in 2016. So let's see. That goes to Donald Trump. That puts him at 2. And third party. There's no significant third party or independent campaign. While there are discussions about Howie Hawkins and Joe Jorgensen, this is a two-party race. There is no real possibility that the third-party candidates do as well as they did in 2016, and looking back at 2016, it actually wasn't that well. So at this point, Trump has an early lead, but we have 9 more keys to go. Short-term economy, the economy is not in recession during the election campaign. Well, we know this is now false due to COVID-19. Long-term economy, real per capita economic growth during the term equals or exceeds the mean growth during the previous 2 terms. Because of COVID-19, yet again, false. These are 2 statements that add to Joe Biden. So now they're around even, exactly even, at 3-3. We can now characterize 3 Trump states, Texas, Georgia, and Iowa, and 3 Biden states, Nevada, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So that puts Biden at 268, puts Trump at 185. Now, the keys don't necessarily add up to an electoral college map, but I do want to fill them out as we go through. And, it's just an interesting scenario. So we have moved past. It's going to match up with roughly what the electoral college prediction looks today, just because I'm not going to be making it closer than it actually is today. But moving past these 6 points, policy change. The incumbent administration affects major changes in national policy. Well, that is true. Donald Trump with the tax cuts has completely rewritten what we saw under the Obama administration, so that is true for the Republicans. Another state goes to the GOP. Ohio goes red. Now, social unrest, there is no sustained social unrest during the term. Well, we know that's false. We've seen lots of it, and we can characterize that as red for false. The next state to go for the Democrats is Wisconsin. Now, this next key is a scandal. The incumbent administration is untainted by a major scandal. Well, we know that is absolutely false. The incumbent administration has faced so many scandals, whether they're, according to the president, real or not. They are there. They're covered by the media, and it negatively reflects on President Trump. So that is another thing that adds to Joe Biden. Let me add up these numbers. We're at 5 for Biden. That should be 5. I can't count correctly, but I'm hoping that's 5, and it's 4 for Trump. So the next Biden state to go, the state of Arizona. Foreign/military failure. The incumbent administration suffers no major failure in foreign or military affairs. That is true. That has not happened, and given the proximity of the election, it probably will not happen in at least Trump's first term or at all. So that is true. The next state to go to Trump, or at least district, is Maine's 2nd district. Foreign/military success. The incumbent administration achieves a major success in foreign or military affairs. Well, this is false. There's nothing been too significant that shifts this key in favor of Donald Trump, which means this is the 6th key for Joe Biden. So I'm going to break them up in 3s. That way we can visualize it a little bit better. So that puts Trump at 5. Biden at 6. So the next state or next district to go to Biden is Nebraska, 2nd. The incumbent party charisma. The incumbent party candidate is charismatic or a national hero. The Professor Lichtman puts this as false. Yes, Donald Trump is charismatic, but only towards his certain base. He clarifies that because Donald Trump's scope and his campaign tactics only really work on a minority of the country and not the overwhelming majority, as other candidates may have enjoyed. I mean, Donald Trump did not win the popular vote. He won a number of states by plurality, so it was just his base that he was really focusing on. And charisma is supposed to be compared to Ronald Reagan, John F. Kennedy, and while Donald Trump may be a good speaker to his base, overall, to the American people, he would not be viewed as charismatic for someone that is disapproved of by the general public. So the incumbent party candidate, I personally think he would be charismatic, but I do understand the reasoning behind it, and I do think that this is false. So that goes to Biden, which means that Biden has officially won the presidency according to the 13 keys to the White House. Now, the final key is the challenger party's charisma. The challenging party candidate is not charismatic or a national hero. This is true. While Biden is an eloquent speaker, at some points when he's talking directly to the American people, obviously, he has a diagnosed stutter, but besides that, Joe Biden hasn't exactly wavered as much as the Trump campaign has made it seem. Biden definitely isn't as good of a speaker as he was maybe 8 years ago. But the American people really don't care. We've seen them give him substantial leads over the past month, and practically throughout the entire campaign cycle, regardless of how he performed at a debate, whether it was a Democratic primary debate or the only general election debate, nothing really changed his lead. In fact, Biden's lead has gone up since the first presidential debate. So while Biden may not necessarily be charismatic or a national hero, he returns to a sense of normalcy that a lot of Americans are longing for. And that's why we see some Republicans come out in support of Joe Biden over Donald Trump. This is not a regular election year, and the 13 keys to the White House prove today that Joe Biden is the favorite to win the presidency. They've been right since 1984. I see no reason as to why they'd be wrong this time around. So if I was to move a certain state to go to Donald Trump, I'd move North Carolina, and then I'd move Florida to Biden. So Final map, I guess you could say 319 to 219. Realistically, that doesn't matter. But the final keys, we have 6 for Trump that are true, 7 for Biden that are false, which means Biden narrowly wins. That's because of the economy shifting away from Donald Trump. This key actually changed. If it had held and COVID-19 had not severely impacted the economy, Donald Trump would be the favorite to win the presidency based off of this. So major recap, no polling data in this at all. Pretty much based off the economy and charisma. They've been right since 1984. And, this is just such a weird election. And I'm glad that we have the ability to boil it down to 13 keys. Now, I do think that polling data has an impact. But, this model is literally strictly economic and charismatic in terms of the candidates, because they don't even consider debates or rallies or speeches or conventions as a part of their model. And they have been right more than other models that keep that into account. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment down suggestions below. Subscribe on the left if you haven't already. Check out the Instagram and Twitter. At the bottom left of the screen, there's also a Discord link for you to go ahead and join. On the screen, there's a video you can watch, and then a playlist for my 2020 election predictions if you want to see where I think the race stands today. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you all tomorrow.